Greetings and welcome to Friday's Inspiration. I've been watching where you guys are all calling in from, so it's great to see so many different places around the world. This is definitely an international audience. So, today we are talking about how we can ascend into this golden age with confidence. And right now, there is this great division of those who are on this path of ascension, growing, evolving, raising their vibrational frequencies, accessing more of their light that they already are, but it's just been buried and deprogrammed out of them. And so there's either that path or there's the AI path. And that's not to make a judgment whether one is right or wrong, but there are two paths and everyone is making a choice. But those of you who are here are no doubt on that ascension path. And so this is what we do every week, coming here every Friday at 11:11 to raise your vibrational frequency, finding those places where you are being interfered with or infiltrated with lower vibrating energies, energies that aren't serving you, energies that are bringing you down. And we come here every week to help you clear those so that you can learn how to master your own energy. So, welcome. Wow, we have Turkey, we have India, we have Sweden, we have France, Colorado, Canary Islands. Yes, so great to have all of you here. So, there's a lot of things I want to talk about today. Um, one, I want to give you an update the uh, on the disclosure that's happening. So there is already a certain amount of disclosure that is happening. I'll call it more of a soft disclosure. A lot of the secrets that have been being kept from us. Uh, and I've been measuring how ready humanity as a group, the global consciousness, is ready for the next level of disclosure, which is through the emergency broadcast system. And I've been measuring that it's been hovering between 2 and 3 days for actually weeks now. And as I look at and measure what is preventing the collective and humanity from taking this next step, it's not going to happen until we're ready. And so the biggest thing that's holding humanity back right now is fear. And so that's one of the things we're going to be measuring and helping you eliminate, especially as it's being ready for this next level of disclosure. So that's one thing that I wanted to share that we're going to be doing today. I also, for those of you who are on my email list, and by the way, you can get on the email list by signing up for anything that's free on my website. And then you'll be notified. We send out an email once a week that notifies you of our upcoming Friday's inspiration and the previous week. But there's sometimes announcements in there. And so, one of the things that I've been sharing is that uh, we are currently in the process of our 16-day daily practice of MediClearing. We do this as a group every other month. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yes, yesterday, we discovered something very fascinating. So, this is sort of a new thing that we're doing where we're every day checking the vibrational frequencies of different body systems, different body organs. And so we were checking the vibration of the heart. So I found something very fascinating. So, one is everybody had a big hope and heart, as most of you do that come here every week. Also, the actual physical heart was functioning at 100%, which is great. However, I've come to discover or learn that there is a certain amount of light frequency that can be measured. And this light frequency should be between 70 to 90 millivolts. So we measured how many millivolts are in the heart. And I did this as well before we came on the call today. And it was only at 15 millivolts. And so we discovered lots of clumps of these control beings that don't want us to be in our light, especially in the heart. They know that the heart is so vital for helping us access our self generated love, for us to be able to access our infinite intelligence. And so they're doing their best to hold down our light in a whole nother way here. So this is an amazing new discovery and something that we're going to be doing here today. So I just want to confirm. Yes, so the amount of millivolts, or the amount of light quotient, light frequency that's running through your hearts, is at 15. So we're going to be raising that today. And so this is all part of what's going to make our ascension that much easier, and what's going to make us be able to move into this golden age with so much more confidence and certainty. So the more that we do this work, the more that we're able to be confident about being able to master our energy, keeping these infiltrations out because we have such a strong vibrational field. And so that's what we're excited about today, what I'm excited about today. And so I'm curious if you have any questions about this today. And hello, Justin from Idaho. Awesome about clearing fear in the past few days. Fears about seeing and fully experiencing ETs have been coming up for me, and I've been wanting to clear that. Great. Good to see you, France and India, Jalpa. Great. Yeah. So, as part of this ascension, there are going to be more and more extraterrestrial beings that are going to be revealed. So, right now, they are actually everywhere. We don't see them because we don't have any awareness about them. As a matter of fact, though, once you start knowing these things and you start becoming more expanded in your awareness, you start seeing it everywhere. So, one of the things that I've been noticing is once I just heard from Ishmael Perez, he's our galactic historian, wrote this book here, which is propping up my computer. Hang on. Our Cosmic Origins. He's our galactic historian that has been telling us all about our history and our galactic history. So, ever since I heard him say that about a third of the population are actually human androids, I started noticing this. Now, I had been noticing it before he had even mentioned that. Human androids, they look like humans. I bet if you cut them, they would bleed just like a human, but they have no soul. Like their heart chakra is zero. It's like they don't even have a heart chakra. So it's been a very fascinating experience to see where they are, where they collect. And I've been noticing that they're usually the ones that you see out running early in the morning, walking their dogs. At the beach one day, I went very early in the morning. It was like about 8 o'clock in the morning, and the parking lot was already full. And I thought, who are these people? About 70 of them were these human androids. They look sort of, I wouldn't say perfect, but they kind of have an ideal look about them. They're very fit. They usually drive good cars because they're in the machine. They go to work every day. They probably make good money. And that's not to say if you do any of those things that you are an android. But once I started seeing this, I noticed they're everywhere. In fact, I just have to share this real quick. One day I was working out at the gym, and it's at Orange Theory Fitness where they have this big monitor of everybody's stats. And there was one person that was all the way at the lowest stat. So that means they were like in a gray zone. Then it goes green, orange, red. So they were always in this gray zone. And then I discovered that who it was a person that was right in front of me on the treadmill. And she had her treadmill all the way up to level 15. That's as high as you can get it. And she was just bouncing along, dun, 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 no sweating, just kind of all like perfect. And like I was, first of all, I was like mesmerized by that. But for an entire hour, she never broke out of this gray zone. And so finally, at the very end, because I was a little bit mesmerized by her, I think she could tell I was fixated on her. So at the very end, the last minute, she was on the rowing machine and we were going all out. And she finally got it into the red zone. But I thought, and I measured, she was an android. So they're everywhere. They're everywhere. About a third of the population are androids, and they do tend to collect. They also tend to be those people on the other end of the phone that are endlessly polite and um, have an incredible amount of patience and so forth. Anyway, it's a fascinating read and look on all of that. But it's also given me a new insight into doing business as well. A lot of people are frustrated by maybe the numbers, the amount of people that might or might not be interested in what you're doing. And if you realize that a third of the population are androids, they probably are not even interested in what you're doing because they're just not into their evolution, right? They're into the being part of this machine. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent there. So I'm curious, have any of you been noticing this, or maybe once you do, you'll find that it's much more fascinating. So this golden age, this is also part of our ascending into a much more prosperous uh, era of our existence. And there have been many golden ages in the past. Atlantis, Lemuria, those were golden ages that uh, took a nosedive for various reasons. And I've also been noticing, like my recent travels to London, uh, that everywhere I happened to go, I was always attracted to a certain style of architecture. And it was in the late 1800s. And come to find out, this was when their golden age was, and or London's last golden age. And so it's kind of interesting how once that we're already starting to step into this age of prosperity and abundance. Now, for some of you, maybe not quite there yet. And so, just as a heads up, just planting some thoughts and ideas to keep an eye out for January. Our next, we don't have any links ready for this, but I'm just letting you know ahead of time so you can start preparing for this. In January, so we do our uh, MediClearing practice, our daily MediClearing practice every other month. So the next round that we'll be doing will be in January, and it's going to be focused on our businesses and our wealth, our prosperity, our abundance, our money. And so the new year is always a great time to get back on our horse or back into alignment and really step into these higher vibrations of prosperity, abundance with ease, with confidence. So it all, of course, boils down to where we're vibrating as a frequency here. And then everything out here is what's going to manifest that. And so that's what we're going to be doing in January. So keep an eye out for that. Any questions, comments about what we're talking about today before we get into our MediClearing? Let's see what we got. So interesting. Do androids know they're androids, or do they think they're human? I think they think they're human. I have worked with one client who was an android. And I don't she didn't know. She didn't know. And, um, there's been other cases. In fact, I was dating someone for a while who was and I discovered they were an android, and then once I discovered that, then that was the end. And, um, but they're very steady, not much feelings, not emotional. So yeah, I don't think they know. I think they are just kind of just going through the motions pretty much. Um, I get a strange feeling about Putin, like he's not a human. Um, I try to avoid politics, but I will say that to some of you who might be a little bit surprised that he is on the side of the white hats. And for those of you who have done some research into this, know that he's still been working closely with President Trump, who is still working behind the scenes. So, but all of that's what this disclosure is all about. Um, Putin is actually alien. He's more alien than human, but he's like a humanoid alien. So, but anyway, highly intelligent and working on the side of the white hats behind the scenes. So let's see what here. I've been doing my inner work for a while now, meditation daily plus spiritual wash, but I still can't achieve my breakthroughs in life. What do you think I am doing wrong? It's not about anything that you're doing wrong. What you're doing is you're living out your patterns, the patterns and the frequencies that you're holding in your vibrational space. So, if you're really curious about what's going on with you, my suggestion is to order a vibrational altitude report. I measure more than 50 different calibrations, and this new light quotient will be included in that, the number of millivolts in your heart. And so this report will tell you exactly where you are on the spectrum. How much fear do you have? How many control beings are infiltrating your space? How many people are courting to you? How uh, high is your money and wealth frequency? It just goes on and on and on. You can click on the link and find out all the things I measure. And then you'll know where you're at. It's hard to know where you're going when you can't look at the map and have a starting point. So a lot of you are trying to do a lot of things. And I've even had many, many people who have a daily practice, but they're not even grounded. So it's really important and it's vital and super helpful when you can have someone that has an expert set of eyes that can look at this stuff. So I am a first wave Palladian starseed who's come here to the planet at this time to help humanity through this ascension. And so this is my gift, is being able to measure vibrational frequencies, and my abilities are getting stronger and stronger, and more downloads, newer and newer things all the time that are helping us find new places that are not in alignment. So the more that we go deeper inward, the more that we can expand outward. So it's really important. And so it is possible, depending on how many reports come in, for me to be able to do those reports today. Because if it comes in over the weekend, I probably won't be able to get to it till Monday. But that would be an excellent place to start. If you're a healer, you can use your gifts to clear all the places in the report, because I tell you exactly where all the blocks are. And then it also comes with a 30-minute conversation where we can meet and we'll see how you did. I can recheck and see if you cleared everything in the report. Some people are very capable and they've been able to clear almost everything in the report. Others, maybe you don't have a clue. You're not a healer. You don't know any of this stuff, but you want to become a little more intuitive or a little more dialed in. And so in this report, I also give some suggestions about a next step. So super, super valuable thing to do. Yes, thank you for the quote, Tanya. The more we go inward, the more we can expand outward. It's the yin and yang. That's the way everything works in the universe. All right. Questions, comments before we get started? I can't wait to help you raise the millivolts in your heart. This is so exciting. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to start with this process called running your energy. For those of you who are new, it is outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon. Illustrations, the whole process is outlined there. And it's a great way so that when you come here each week that you know what we're doing and there's less having to explain everything. So let's go ahead and we're going to put down that grounding cord. So the first part of getting ultra grounded is to put down that line of energy like a big pipe that goes all the way to the center of the earth. So then you can just start breathing and releasing, and everything releases in no effort, just like gravity. All the energies that are not yours. Next, we're going to send roots down from the bottoms of our feet, and those roots are going to go deep into the earth, maybe as far as a redwood tree. And as it goes into the earth, it's going to intermingle with this communication layer, intelligent communication layer. And these roots are going to wrap around the entire earth just with your free imagination. And then we're going to start bringing this abundant, feminine earth energy up through our feet. So for many of you, it's stopping right at your feet. So you're not connected to the earth. You're not really grounded. So as we're bringing this earth energy up through the ankles, so you can have more fun, through the calves and knees, through the thigh, and then it's going to go down the grounding cord. So you have 2 loops of energy up both legs and down the grounding. The third part to getting ultra grounded is seeing if we have a worry circle around your root chakra. Today, it's extended out to the 3rd layer. That's your fear of stepping into your power. It's kind of universal, the thing that everybody's working on. And let's see. We're going to use a black flame right at your root chakra to clear the control beings that are there trying to prevent you from getting ultra grounded, stepping into your power, feeling safe and confident. Okay, good. So we're dropping that down the grounding cord, and that black flame is transmuting the attachment of these control beings. There. So now you have no worry circle. The 4th part to getting ultra grounded is to ground our hearts. So you have big open hearts. Well, let's see. Actually, today, hearts are only, and that doesn't mean everybody, but there are some of you where your heart is only open 50%. So let's open that all the way first, and then we're going to ground it. So first of all, we're going to go to the 6th chakra right behind your forehead. And we're going to go out to the 3rd layer where there's more control beings. So use a black flame right behind your forehead. These beings put thoughts and beliefs in your head that you keep thinking about that disempower you, make you feel defeated, make you feel discouraged or worried or anxious or angry, all of which these energies and thoughts are not even yours. Mind control's been going on for quite some time. And this is how we can combat this mind control. So right at the 2nd layer, there's a lot of anger and rage. So while we're dropping all that anger down through our central core and letting that be transmuted at the center of the earth, we're using more black flames here at that 6th chakra to transmute more of the control beings and fear entities. And also there's a much more insidious energy that's harder to find, but it's a bigger energy, actually. That's the Draco energy. They're usually out in the 100th layer of our aura, but Today, we're just going to trust that this black flame has enough intelligence to find all of these darker energies and entities that are preventing us from, I think we were trying to ground our hearts. Yes, from grounding our hearts. So, Goya na imaye tina kopo oya, tina ti akaye, ti kaya pokopo ono miyada ke iya. Okay, so as we're bringing pure source down, okay, so there's still something there. Okay, so this is the watcher energy. So here we're going to use a rainbow flame right in that sixth chakra. They usually hang out in the 50th layer. So just use your imagination with this rainbow flame. There's also, they're holding some curses in place here, which are also making it hard for you to open your heart. So I think it's interesting. We're finding a lot of stuff related to the heart because my intention today is to amplify the amount of millivolts in our heart chakra and help us release these energies of fear, etc., that are keeping humanity as a whole from being ready for this next level of ascension and disclosure. Okay, there we go. So now the heart's grounded. So just by clearing this energy here in our sixth chakra, it helped us to feel safer to ground our hearts. So the final part to getting ultra grounded, this is a new bonus part. The women, you could rub your hands together and put a hand on each of your ovaries, and then imagine two lines of energy like a Y coming down and merging with your grounding cord so you could clear your ovaries. They collect a lot of energy. And then the men are going to ground your testicles down into that grounding cord. Okay, great. So now we're ultra grounded. Next, we're going to place our attention far above our heads, and we're going to start bringing in the energy of pure source down through our creative rings. And this is even if you don't know how many you have. So as it's coming in through the creative ring, so it's stopping right at that top ring. More control beings. So use a black flame right at the top of those rings. Okay, so coming down. So now at about halfway, at the halfway point of our stack of rings, there's more control beings. So use a black flame about halfway down your stack of rings that are stacked above your head. Okay, great. So now as it's coming down into your crown, so now it stops right at the top of your crown, out to that third layer. So there's a circle up here, just like at the root. This is the permission circle, with control beings right out at that third layer, preventing us from accessing the power of our permission, our sovereignty. Use a black flame. You could even use a circle black flame there. So you're just imagining or pretending that you know where these layers are. Just pretend. As a spirit, you already know all of this, actually. I'm just helping you remember. Okay, good. So as you're coming into the crown, 6, 5, 4. So pure source, let that stir in your heart chakra. So out to the third layer, there are some fear entities. So that fear is what's keeping the conscious collective from taking this next step. Use a black flame in your heart. So we're going to transmute fear entities. There's about 100. burn in that flame. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's something still there. Control beings. Use the black flame. There's about 20 control beings. There's also the watcher energy. Use a rainbow flame too. It's also calling out for the emerald flame. This is usually shows up in regards to sexual abuse, sexual trauma, ritual abuse, whether this time, lifetime, or it could be past lives. And then use a black flame for this Draco energy as well. Okay, excellent. So as we're bringing pure source down through the heart, there it goes, solar plexus, stopping again, out to the third layer. So this is that energy that makes you feel tired, unmotivated, hard to get stuff done. Let's see what's here. More control beings. Use a black flame. About 50. So I tell you, these control beings are working overtime these days, and massive clumps of them everywhere. So this black flame is now your best friend. Okay, good. And so even if you're not sure, like when you practice this on your own, just try things and see if it helps. Using a black flame anywhere cannot hurt you. It can only help. All right, so as we're bringing pure source down through the solar plexus, there's something still there. Okay, so this is people courting to you. We're going to use a black flame. So these people are trying to control what you do. Maybe you're ascending too fast. They want to slow you down. And so you don't cut cords. You can either gently pull them out, send them back, or use these flames, either a violet flame, black flame. Okay. So as pure source is coming down through the solar plexus, second chakra, spilling down the root. Excellent. Breathe into this vertical alignment, connected way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Okay, let's bring a 50-50 mixture. The earth energy coming up through the legs, pure source coming down the backside. We're going to bring it up the front through the second, stopping right in that lower belly, out to the third layer. More fear here, fear entity. So use a black flame. So I'll call out some of these fears that are sitting here. So we have a fear of the unknown, a fear of the future, a fear of not being able to do enough, a fear of dying, fear of displeasing others. Well, that's probably enough. Yeah, so just drop all those fears down the grounding as we're transmuting these fear entities. There's also some control beings in here, about 15. So use that black flame. Okay, great. And let's see if we can bring pure source up through this second chakra now. There we go. Into the solar plexus, where it's stopping again. Out to that third layer. So more fear. So fear is doing its job. It's stopping you. It's stopping you from taking a next step. from taking that next inspired action, from maybe trying new things, going new places, doing new things. Mhm. And so that just really limits our life. If we're waiting for something before we start doing something else, we're cheating ourselves. There's no savior. We are our savior. So if you're waiting for somebody, you have arrived. Okay, great. So let's see if we can come up through that second, third. There we go. Heart, throat, six, crown, rings, cascading down through all the layers of your aura. Okay, good. Let's pay special attention to the third layer, clearing out more of the effort. It's especially around the heart. See if you can notice that energy in your aura around your heart. So we're just like paint being poured over a balloon. Then we're going to jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom and we're going to lift this 1% energy out of the 15th layer. Okay, great. And then we're going to jump out to the 50th layer, starting at the bottom. So again, more energy around the heart. This is that watcher energy. Okay. And then the last layer before it breaks through to infinity is the 100th layer. If you want to use a black flame in this whole layer, starting at the bottom, we're going to transmute this Draco energy that's preventing our expansion. Excellent. Whew. All right. Last but not least, the circle of reciprocity. Let's start at the heart where this self-generated love is waiting to fill yourself up. So you're going to bring this heart energy out your right arm as you give out into the world. And then put your fingertips together like you're holding a ball, and you're going to bring that energy of receiving this love into your left hand. So it's stopping right at your wrist. This is what's making you feel empty, maybe unlovable. And so we're going to start filling yourself up. There is a control being right at that wrist. So use a black flame. There's actually about 5 of them. Not allowing you to fill yourself up. Okay, there we go. Up to the elbow, shoulder, where there's more. Another 5 of these control beings. Use a black flame right at that right shoulder. Okay, good. So now it's coming down through the front and back of the heart, through the throat, through the 6, through the crown, through all of your rings simultaneously. All right. So let's see how much energy that cleared to help us access more of the light in our heart. So we're going to remeasure the millivolts in our heart. Should be between 70 and 90. It started at 15. So clearing all of that, because we did a lot of heart work, brought it up to 50 millivolts. But we want it to go all the way. And so here's another thing too. If you're not ready for all of this light in your heart, no worries. It'll just recede. It will close back down. So come back and listen to this recording over and over, and then you can get used to it and you can open it up longer and more often and so forth. And you'll respond much quicker as well as you revisit this ability to amplify the millivolts of light in your heart. All right, so let's raise this from 50 all the way up to 90. We're going to go to your root chakra, out to that third layer where there's control beings. There's about 100 of them. So these do not want you to access the light in your heart. They know how vital this whole center and your physical heart is, how much energy that radiates out into the world, and how much the more each of us are doing our work, the more we're sending this frequency out and we're helping others also raise their frequency just by our being. So we're using a black flame right at that root chakra. Koya ma inai tiana kupoya, ina maye, tiana kaye apa, popo nutuye, iamaka anaye akumuye. There's also some curses in here, so we're going to clear those with the black flame. There's about 5 curses. And so these would keep us in this energy of fear and worry and the energy of uncertainty and not feeling grounded or confident. So let's use this black flame in the root. We're going to transmute these curses as well. Okay, let's remeasure the amount of millivolts in our heart now. We're up to 70. We're getting there. Let's see what else there is. We're going to go to the heart chakra, right in the center of your chest, out to that third layer. More control beings. Use the black flame. There's about 50 here in this heart chakra that don't want you to access the light in your heart. Poyanati amaye akukoye. Iana makaye. Tiana kakao puyo. Ma e tiana tata. Okay. Let's also go down to the second chakra, out to the third layer. And so there's a program in here, or maybe it's a deprogram, where we've been deprogrammed and reprogrammed, inserted with beliefs that we do not have the abilities to access this place, to even regenerate our cells in our body. That decline is just inevitable. We have to age and die like everybody else. So these are all lies and they're programs. So as we're clearing these control beings in this second chakra, another 100. This is also keeping a lot of anger and rage in place. This rage is the luge that feeds these darker entities. So right at our second chakra, they're using our energy center here to create for them. So we're just going to transmute those energies there in that second chakra. Uy, anai pianaka a la mapuye. Yeah. I'm curious if you guys are starting to feel some of these shifts and changes. I know a lot of people, as we've done this, have been telling me that a lot of things started to shift. They started feeling lighter. But I'm curious to hear it in your words. I know this works, but a lot of new people don't know that what we're doing here is real stuff. So the more you can share this with others, the more of us that can raise our frequency. Let's remeasure these millivolts. There we go. 90 millivolts in our heart. Maybe you can feel that light as it's radiating out into all the cells in your body, out into the world. Whew. Well, that's what we need. So let me see. I'm curious. Uh, hmm. What I'm thinking about is how ready the collective consciousness is for this disclosure. So I keep getting 100%, and they have been 100% ready, but there's been this fear. So let's measure fear and anger before we send you on your way. And there's still 15% fear. We want this to be at zero because these little bits is where it starts, and then it grows from there. And then before you know it, you're paralyzed again. You're not doing your life because of all this fear that's stopping you. That's what fear is designed to do. It's designed to stop you. It can stop you in a million ways. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you're just unmotivated. Maybe you're just discouraged. You know, uh, however fear is stopping you, it can be very subtle. So 15%, we're going to go to the sixth chakra, out to that third layer. There's some watcher energy, so use a rainbow flame right in that sixth chakra. Then we're also going to go down to the root, out to the third layer, where there's also some rage and anger. So that often is on top of the fear. Use a black flame right in the root. So, since you are your own savior and you're not relying on me to save you, like you don't come here every week just to get your energy cleared, that you're coming here every week to learn how to master your own energy. And that's what is not only going to help you, it's going to help your circle of influence as your energy radiates out into the world. The more you raise your frequency, the more you can lift others up. So I'm curious how you guys have noticed that. What have you discovered? Did you feel any difference? Do you feel any different? That was a lot to clear out of the heart. And so I'm curious what you guys are noticing. So, as a reminder, I do have time today to do a few reports. If you'd like to get your altitude report done this weekend, send in that request ASAP, and then we could get that done. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till Monday if it comes in over the weekend. And so, Inga Marie is feeling clearer and lighter. Great. Excellent. And Justin, I also notice I am feeling or seeing when, for example, light language is about to come in a few seconds before you channel it. Excellent. You're tapped in, Justin. Great. Those clumps in the heart were intense, right, Tanya? They were. I'm just getting tingles in my head right now. Yeah, this is a really powerful download that I got. So I'm so glad that I can share it with you today because we're ready. We're ready for the hardcore disclosure so we can get the EBS going and we can start moving into these next level. Like, next, we're done with all this. Heather, vibrations throughout the body. Excellent. Yes. So the more you can fill yourself up with this high light vibration, the more we're activating our light body. And so we as a species, the human species, is the most advanced in the universe and galaxies and solar systems, this big experiment that we're all part of, because we are the only ones that are moving towards, in this ascension, the ability to hold massive amounts of light in our bodies while being in the flesh. So a lot of other species, they once the more light that they have, the more they transcend their body. They are no longer in a physical body. So this is a massive thing that we have all volunteered here to do and to be a part of. And Reiki, I always forget your first name. Um, I think it's Sharma. Lighter now. Thanks. Excellent. Great to see you're feeling lighter. And Tayson, when I use black flame, I don't know if it is effective or not. I mean, efficient. So, how to know and evaluate this? How you're feeling. So, once you use the black flame, notice, do you feel better? And do you feel lighter? Do you feel like something maybe shifted? So, this is for many of you a practice, and you're still learning how to be really dialed into your abilities and to your gifts. And so, it just takes practice. Keep doing it over and over, and you'll just get better and better at it. And the great thing about this report too is you'll be able to see, and it's kind of like it's biofeedback. So you get this report, it's got lots of numbers in it, and then you can tap into what your knowingness. Like you'll get these numbers, and then you'll start to feel into your own body. Oh, what does a heart that's only 50% open feel like? And so then you'll have that before and after experience of sometimes people just having the knowledge and information of where they're at, they start shifting because now they've had someone who could look and see, and then they start feeling into that resonance, and they as a spirit go to work. And most of the times when people get reports, by the time we get to that 30-minute conversation, they've already shifted a bunch, even without doing anything, so they thought. So it's a really invaluable thing now. It's a really invaluable report to do. Felt tingles too. Great job, bud. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, this is really a powerful frequency transmission. So I thank you all for coming here today. And we will be back next Friday, as we always are. It won't be long before I'm headed off to Egypt, though, and I'm going to try while I'm away to do 2 Friday inspirations. I'll be there for almost 3 weeks. So I'm going to try and get 2 done. The first one, we may have to give you a replay of some of our best Friday's inspirations. But I will be sending and sharing lots of videos and pictures, and we're going to get activated like crazy. We're going to be activating light temples, repairing the grid. Some of this stuff is even beyond me. So I'm super excited. There's about 44 of us that are going to be going with this group of high vibrational peeps. So I am super excited. All right. Thank you all for joining today. And I look forward to seeing you all next week and hopefully doing your report later today. So have a great day. And until we meet again, keep asking my favorite question. How? How does it get any better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. Sending much love. Namaste.